Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. Roach always, he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, oh, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good.
Don Davis completely dominated Lamont Roach without throwing a single punch. Pulling out of a fight with Gervonta isn't just canceling a match. It's like willingly stepping into the lion's den and locking the door behind you.
Beat his ass when y'all talking. Y'all better be quiet. All that.
This wasn't just a canceled fight. It became Dan's golden opportunity to flip the script. Lamont never even stepped into the ring, yet Gervonta made sure he'd regret ever thinking of pulling out. No punches were thrown, but make no mistake, there were plenty of burns.
I don't see why people would like, oh, you brought up a smaller guy, woo-doo-woo, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not stunned. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do it.
Let's break down how Lamont Roach ended up in the middle of this mess. Lamont probably thought canceling the fight would give him some breathing room. Maybe he figured backing out would protect his record or spare him from an inevitable beatdown at the hands of Gervonta Davis. After all, pulling out of a fight with someone as dangerous as Davis could seem like a smart move if you're focused on your reputation or future in the sport. But here's where Lamont made a huge mistake. He didn't just cancel a fight. He canceled a golden opportunity to prove himself against one of the best in the game. While he expected sympathy, Gervonta had other plans.
More than that.
Nah, he's strategic. He's setting guys up. He been boxing since a little kid, just like I've been boxing since a little kid. And you can tell, like, with the experience. Even with his last fight with Frank Martin, you can see Frank Martin was more so an amateur. Like, the experience he got is not on.
Let's first break down Dan's response. It wasn't some half-hearted rant or a quick angry tweet. No, Gervonta knows exactly how to make an impact, and he's mastered the art of turning these situations into a spectacle. Lamont cancels the fight, and in true Davis fashion, Gervonta didn't get angry. He turned it into a show. Instead of sulking or playing the victim, he went full-on savage. This wasn't just trash talk. It was a relentless roast that exposed Lamont for everyone to see. When you're the one who backed out of a fight with Gervonta Davis, there's no escape. You're about to be publicly roasted for anyone who cares to listen.
I do it for myself, but I do it for the people with me. My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me. Yeah.
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Pops. Oh.
If you thought canceling the fight would let you slip away without consequences, you clearly underestimated Gervonta's ability to capitalize on any situation. His response to Lamont's pullout wasn't just about calling him out. It was about making Lamont's decision look like the dumbest move he could have made. Imagine thinking you're dodging a bullet, only for that bullet to come flying at you from a completely different direction, straight from Gervonta's mouth. It's a mistake you can't escape.
Everybody's talking about his Tank came out and said he was gonna retire. Is that really happening?
That's his decision.
Yeah.
That's his decision.
Tank and his team, they can't beat both. They can't beat Tank and beat an opponent as well. You know what I mean? So they've said a lot of things, but the one thing that they haven't said is that they wanted to fight.
What's truly ironic about all of this is how Lamont thought he could escape the inevitable. Sure, he might have been afraid of what was coming in the ring. Maybe he feared the raw power of Gervonta's punches, which is understandable given how Davis has been knocking opponents out left and right. But in trying to avoid that, Lamont only made things worse for himself. He didn't just dodge a physical fight, he also avoided a mental one he never saw coming. By backing out, Lamont gave Gervonta the perfect opportunity to roast him, all without ever stepping foot in the ring. And trust me, Gervonta made sure Lamont knew exactly how big of a mistake that was.
March 1st, we're going to get this fight here in New York. There are a lot of questions of why Lamont Roach, right? Let's not discredit him. He's a great fighter, great chin, high IQ. But why Lamont Roach? That's the questions that all the fans are asking at the beginning.
Look, I think the reality is, I think those are fair questions. I mean, when you have fighters the caliber of Tank.
Let's dive into the aftermath of the cancellation. While Gervonta kept his cool and focused on his career, Lamont was left to face some uncomfortable questions. The fans weren't happy. They'd invested time, energy, and excitement into the fight, expecting fireworks. Instead, they got a canceled match and a whole lot of disappointment. So how did Gervonta respond? He gave Lamont a verbal beating that people won't forget anytime soon. If Lamont thought he could slip under the radar after backing out, he was sorely mistaken. Gervonta made sure that canceling a fight with him wouldn't just be another forgettable incident. He turned it into a public spectacle for everyone to see.
Is Lamont going to learn March 1st inside that ring here at Barclays Center?
Bob and weave, bob and weave. You got bob and weave.
He's in what?
You got bob and weave, job, bob.
And here's where it gets even better for Gervonta. Not only did he roast Lamont publicly, but he made sure everyone knew exactly who the real winner was. Spoiler alert, it wasn't Lamont Roach. Gervonta didn't need the fight to win. He claimed victory before the bell even rang. He turned the tables, making Lamont look like the one avoiding a challenge. While Lamont thought canceling would be his escape, it ended up being his downfall. Gervonta played the game and played it flawlessly, leaving Lamont with nowhere to hide. It's one thing to cancel a fight and move on, but it's another to be dragged through the mud by the very guy you just decided to back out of facing.
Wants to know what's next for the face of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis. We gonna see. He's gonna let you know.
Lamont didn't just cancel a fight with Gervonta. He handed him a golden opportunity to prove he wasn't man enough to face him. Let's talk about how Gervonta handled the media. If you think Gervonta was going to let Lamont's withdrawal slide quietly, you've got another thing coming. Gervonta knows how to maximize every moment. And when Lamont made the mistake of pulling out, Gervonta didn't just sit back. He seized the moment, feeding off the drama, tension, and the fans' disappointment. With every word, Gervonta reminded everyone who the real challenger was, making it clear that Lamont was the one who decided to back out. Gervonta didn't need to throw a single punch to win this round. His words were enough to land the knockout blow. In this battle of words, Lamont didn't stand a chance. Gervonta played the game masterfully, and Lamont was left exposed.
So get ready for 2 fights. But yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140.
What's truly impressive is how Gervonta turned this situation to his advantage, proving he's not just a powerhouse in the ring, but also a master at playing the media. He didn't get emotional or petty. Instead, he delivered his comeback with cold, calculated precision, a move only someone like him could pull off. It was like a chess game, where Gervonta always knows exactly how to make his move. Lamont made the mistake of thinking canceling would buy him a free pass, but Gervonta turned that mistake into a public spectacle. Now, everyone knows that when you face Gervonta Davis, it's not just a fight in the ring, you're also fighting for your reputation. And let's not forget the fans, the people who had been looking forward to this fight. They didn't forget. They saw the cancellation and witnessed how Gervonta responded. The drama only fueled the intrigue. Gervonta knows how to build a narrative, and with Lamont's pullout, the story wasn't over. It had only just begun. His remarks were like throwing gasoline on an already burning fire, and the fans ate it up. Everyone loves a good underdog story, but Gervonta isn't the underdog. He's the guy who makes others look like they're the ones struggling to keep up. Lamont had his chance to make a name for himself, but instead, he became a cautionary tale about why you should never back down from a fight with Gervonta Davis.
And I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's his name. He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say his cap?
So now Lamont is left in the dust. What's next for him? That's the million-dollar question. Gervonta has made it clear, when you back out of a fight with him, there's no escaping the consequences. Lamont isn't just dealing with the fact that he missed the 11, the chance to face Gervonta. He's also left to confront the aftermath of his cancellation and the public perception that came with it. It's going to be hard for him to shake off the image of being the guy who chickened out, while Gervonta continues to rise. Lamont's going to have to face the harsh reality of his decision. As for Gervonta, They'll just keep doing what he does best: dominate in the ring and control the media. If Lamont thought he could escape the wrath of Gervonta, he clearly misjudged who he was dealing with. Gervonta is already focused on bigger and better things, while Lamont is left with nothing but the bitter taste of regret. Let this be a lesson. When you cancel a fight with Gervonta Davis, you'd better be ready for the consequences. There's no way out. Gervonta is always ready to remind you just how badly you messed up. The damage is done, and the public will remember.